Hey everybody, welcome to the Faith and Fandom Feedback Friday podcast. Hope you are all doing well. Coming to you from 3 weeks deep in the month of August. Lots going on, lots good, lots bad, lots all over the place, but I hope you're all doing well. If you are joining with us live, you can watch this live on Facebook. You can also watch it live on TikTok. And then it will also be on YouTube and our audio channel a little bit later if you want to just listen or watch there as well. But if you want to interact on TikTok, the homie Amanda is fighting off the bots and holding it down over there. But hope you are doing well. We do have a good amount of news just to share with you this morning. So I hope you're doing good. And yeah, glad you're around. It's been a week and I've had some moments that were made me kind of grumpy that I was around, but also had some moments that made me really grateful for the fact I'm still alive. So we'll see how this morning plays out. Lots to do today, heading out to a con in just a little bit, and yeah, all over the place and in good ways for the most part. Just seeing if I was inviting anybody else. Okay. Oop. All right. All right, let's jump in with our stories for the week, our news stories, and then after this, we'll jump into our roll for initiative Bible reading. First off, two teenagers were awarded $275,000 each after they were trapped upside down on an amusement park ride for more than 26 minutes. Um, the ride was called the Atmosphere, and there were almost 30 kids who were trapped upside down, but two of them sued and won a $250,000 each. Um, Disney is suing the FCC over an early ABC license scrutiny, claiming that the Trump administration is waging a retaliatory campaign against free speech. So Disney is in the process of suing the FCC uh, over that. Uh, there was drama and a little bit of anxiety that went down this past week as Disney invited people to be part of their Hall of Legends. Lin-Manuel Miranda appropriately was inducted, where he sang a um, part of their world themed acceptance speech. But and The Rock was also inducted. And part of the complaint of The Rock being inducted is the fact that legendary voice actor Jim Cummings was not. Jim Cummings has been the voice of Winnie the Pooh, Darkwing Duck, and a million other characters that you know. He's voiced over 1,500 characters for Disney over the last 40 years. But The Rock made it into the Hall of Legends before he did. And so people were unhappy about it, specifically Jim Cummings. He was very unhappy about it. So that's the thing. Uh, Charles Melton, if you remember last week, so sharing Charles Melton had turned down the role of Hank McCoy slash Beast in the upcoming X-Men franchise. Charles Melton made a good name for himself an image with the season two of Beef. Um, but we're now seeing why he turned down Hank McCoy in the X-Men franchise. It's because he is up for playing Kakashi in the Naruto movie. And honestly, I feel like that's a better life choice for him. So if he gets that, that'll be great. But yeah, he is up for playing Kakashi in the Naruto movie, so that could be fun. In other casting calls that I don't know genuinely how I feel about this. I reported the last couple of weeks that Ryan Hurst, former Son of Anarchy Opie, uh, had to be replaced as Kratos in the God of War TV series on Amazon, and it has been officially announced that he has been replaced by Dave Batista of WWE slash Guardians of the Galaxy, um, which will bring its honestly more credibility to it. But honestly, I felt like Ryan had a good opportunity to do something well with that. I don't know. But yeah, Dave Batista will officially be playing Kratos. The almost famous Broadway musical has now officially been licensed out through Concord Theatricals. So now it is publicly available for touring companies, theater companies, schools, colleges, whatever, to put on the Cameron Crowe Broadway musical. I saw it in its opening day on Broadway. I saw the uh last version of it that's been in theater or been performed, which is where they were saying this is officially what you're licensing, which was nice. And now it's officially licensed. So if you hear of anybody putting on Almost Famous anywhere near you, let me know because I'm going to come see it. Felicia Day broke world records this past week. I think I mentioned this already, but just saying it again. The Guild movie is now the highest crowd-funded movie in history. Um, it broke its Kickstarter, raising $5,700,000 within 38 hours left in its campaign. So it did really well. Reading Rainbow host Micah Threet has shared that he has checked himself into a mental institution for treatment. He said that he is not okay and he was checking himself in. Um, and, that's wise, honestly. Do. Hey, if you have followed any of the news slash scandal dealing with the bricks and minifigs uh, storyline, there is a store called Bricks and Minifigs that Tristan, good morning, dude. There's a store called Bricks and Minifigs that had changed ownerships, but effectively had denied a customer his Star Wars figures, which were worth $200,000 that he had left in the store for consignment. And then, like, when the store ownership changed hands, they did not acknowledge that this Legos belonged to him. Turned into a whole thing. Like, people were trying to expose them. People were trying to break in. It was a whole mess. Now the bricks and minifigures folks have settled with the Mansell family, the original owner of the $200,000 Lego collection. Um, the company has compensated the family for their losses and issued a formal apology. Um, so I guess that's technically over. We'll see. Donnie Wahlberg of New Kids on the Block slash Saw franchise slash I think Blue Bloods. I think he might have been in Blue Bloods too. Wasn't a fan of that show. But Donnie Wahlberg and his wife Jenny McCarthy, which is such a weird statement, um, both got baptized at Rutherford, got baptized at Shepherd Church in Los Angeles. And Donnie has gone on to put a video out about their testimony and his testimony specifically about his relationship with Christ. But if you would have told high school me that, you know, when you're 40, you're going to see Jenny McCarthy married to a new kid on the block and getting baptized, it just would not have been a comprehensible sentence or statement. But praise God through all of it. Let's see. Okay, and probably the most awkward commercial in existence right now. Let me preface this by saying, if you are unaware, generative AI and AI in general uses a lot of our planet's water resources. They said that in 2025, AI consumed as much water as the entire human population. So, Liquid Death, which is the water in a can, folks, and Garage Beer have launched a campaign asking people to send their urine to AI data centers to cool off their stuff. Jason Kelsey stars in the ad for this with singing. Um, Tristan says, unfortunately, he has been following the bricks and minifigures. Yeah, it's been a mess. But the Jason Kelsey ad literally has music and choreography and people in costumes and people marching like it's a Pepsi commercial in the 80s. Um, and you can even get a coolant collector jar that is sealable for you to mail whatever you would like to mail to data centers. Um, Now, it's a cute commercial. Don't know it's necessarily a wise choice to actually follow through with their instructions on this, um, but it's a good piece of having a conversation. And things I did not see coming. The Christian metal band Demon Hunter is suing Netflix over K-pop Demon Hunters, claiming trademark infringement. The lawsuit reportedly cites a customer who mistakenly spent $500 on Demon Hunter concert tickets for their daughters and then were unhappy when they arrived at the show and it was not the K-pop Demon Hunters. First of all, that's bad parenting. Second of all, why are you paying $500 for K-pop Demon Hunter concert tickets? Thirdly, why are there $500 Demon Hunter concert tickets? All the questions. But that lawsuit is starting, and I seriously doubt it goes anywhere that actually means a difference. But um, it's happening. It's totally happening. Nate Bargatze made comedy history. His Big Dumb Eyes World Tour has officially earned a Guinness World Record for the most tickets sold on a single stand-up comedy tour, with 2,016,254 tickets sold just to that one tour, surpassing the previous record of 1,981,000. Um, Congratulations to Nate. There's the Jason Kelsey ad. Doctor Who fans can. What's up, Carly? Doctor Who fans can get excited. Um, Arthur Darvill and Karen Gillan, uh, the pawns from the Doctor Who world. Tristan Birch says he'd pay to see either. Yes, I feel you, dude. Um, but the pawns are starting a Doctor Who podcast, much like the Office ladies did theirs and How I Met Your Mother did theirs and stuff of that nature. Uh, Karen and Arthur, Amy and Rory Pond are starting the Pondcast. Um, so you will be able to check that out. If you go to their Instagram, it's Karen and Arthur Pondcast is their account name. But I'm excited. It'll be a nice place to revisit some classic Who with that. Um, and Carly, thank you for all the likes. One of the sadder stories of the week is that actress Hayden Panettiere has passed away at the age of 36, which is genuinely she's like almost a decade younger than me, and that's so sad that she passed away. And like, I know you can't reduce a person to just their pop culture roles, but like literally every time her face popped up, it in my mind I saw "Save the Cheerleader, Save the World." And knowing that she literally played a character who anchored the world's salvation on her, but then literally struggled to even maintain herself. And it's a hard and sad place to be. But she did pass away at the age of 36. Yeah. Rings of Power is officially returning in three chunks for the year. November 11th, episode 1 through 4 come out. Uh, November 18th, episode 5 and 6. And November 25th, episode 7 and 8 will be dropping. D23 had a lot of announcements of things from Frozen 3 to Coco 2. Um, yeah, so there's a lot of Disney stuff that we'll be experiencing between now and 2029. One of the big D23 announcements was Kingdom Hearts animated series is coming. So, if you want to check that out, Kingdom Hearts will be flexing into the animated world coming pretty soon. Kingdom Hearts 4 was also announced as part of that. Uh, the Los Angeles Lakers are set to. I think I covered this. Yeah, they're buying Lakers for 12 billion. I covered that. She's passing away. Yeah. All right. Nigerian and Christian leaders. Sorry, Nigerian Christian and Muslim leaders have signed a peace accord ahead of the 2027 election, acknowledging the rampant Christian slaughter that's been taking place in Nigeria. But even with the peace accord being signed just a day ago, 27 Christians were murdered in Nigeria, like literally at the time that the ink was drying on this paper. So um, we'll see how it turns out. But like, I guess this is considered a step forward. Former Southern Baptist Church president or Southern Baptist Conference president Johnny Hunt is planning to sue the denomination again after an encounter he had in 2010. If you are familiar with the name, Johnny Hunt is a pretty renowned pastor slash speaker in this region and across the world, but he's from this region, so he gets a little more, love here. But he's planning to sue them. Christopher Milani slash Elliot Stabler is going to begin to appear potentially in Law and Order SVU in the upcoming year as the organized crime series was canceled. The oldest inmate in history, the oldest U.S. living inmate, died this week at 101 years old after being spared execution 8 times. The cast of Sons of Anarchy are reuniting for a FX meta series called Legends, where it's literally going to be like the Sons of Anarchy cast talking about Sons of Anarchy and hanging out with each other and doing things of that nature. So if you've got an itch for that, then it's gonna be scratched. What's up, Nick? Um, so yeah, Costco is planning to offer Medicare plans for older adults, so you can literally start getting health care from Medicare, from Costco. So that's a thing. Um, Miss Grand USA had her title revoked after an ongoing hit and run felony charge is being investigated. That's bananas. I told the story last week. A 25-year-old gamer, um, who needed a lung transplant, who was basically just kind of saddened and heartbroken over the fact that he wasn't going to live to see GTA 6. His friends teamed together to raise $92,000 to help him get a lung transplant so that he can live long enough to play GTA 6, literally as his primary goal. Um, let's see, I think I missed some stories in there. Let's go back. Covered that. It might be Alma Stories. No, it's not. Here we go. Um, the U.S. national debt has officially passed into the trillions. Not just the trillions, but officially crossed 40 trillion for the first time in history. So our debt is deeper than it ever has been in history, and we've officially crossed $40 trillion dollars in debt, meaning Elon Musk couldn't pay off our debt if he tried. Shakira has pledged $1 million dollars to help rebuild schools in Colombia after earthquakes devastated a large portion of Colombia. There's a new Ugo on the block as 6-year-old pug Jenny Lou has officially been crowned the new world's ugliest dog. If you saw Deadpool versus Wolverine, Dogpool in that film had previously been the world's ugliest dog. Now, Jenny Lou, the pug, has officially taken the title. Students at Providence College um, joined together to start a GoFundMe to help one of the security guards who looked after the students as a father. Um, Sorry, I'm trying not to yawn. Um, but one of the security guards that had looked after them as a father for years, the students got together and started a GoFundMe so they could help him get to Nigeria to see his family. The campaign for the support of past surpasses his original goal, and they were able to raise $26,000 so that this man could go back to Nigeria and see his family after not seeing them for over a decade. So, um, sweet. In Hawaii, Lala has been downgraded from a hurricane to a tropical storm, but has also still been one of the most devastating things that hit Hawaii in a long time. More than 200,000 utility customers are without power as of Sunday. Um, and there's flood damage to at least 100 homes across the state. With that, and 117 people were staying in emergency service shelters. So it's a pretty rough storm. The ocean has officially gotten warmer this year than it's ever been. Specifically if you're testing it near the UK. But ocean temperatures were hotter last month than in any July on record. According to the Copernicus Climate Change Service, average sea surface temperature reached 20.96 or 0.96 degrees Celsius this summer, beating the previous July record of 20.89 degrees Celsius in 2023. Western Europe, as well as begun to, their waters are heating specifically at higher rates. Uh, Luigi Mangione has officially pled guilty to charges of the shooting of the healthcare CEO. So he officially pled guilty with that. Um, a broken engine part caused a terrifying incident that took place on a plane as a passenger was partially pulled through a shattered cabin window. Now, I want you to picture this. These are the little windows, the windows that are about the size of your head. One of these windows just shattered, and the dude got sucked into the window and effectively plugged the hole. Um, it was his arm went through his shoulder up to his neck. He's in a brace. He says he's planning to sue for millions. But yeah, that's a pretty traumatizing way to go. Um, Slow Horses, the Apple TV drama series, which is pretty amazing, will be returning to TV on September 16th. Probably just in time to pick up from where Ted Lasso leaves off so you don't cancel your Apple subscription. Uh, Jalen Turner won a UFC fight in 39 seconds, then proceeded to thank Jesus. And he went on to say that he used to think thanking Jesus after a match was the absolute corniest thing that anybody could ever do. Um, But then as he actually grew in his faith, he realized, oh no, this is a thing. I should probably be doing this all the time. And so Jalen officially gives Jesus thanks for that. Um, Survivors of abuse related to the church have now officially built the first ever national database of accusers and abusers. It's a volunteer run site that has more than 2,700 pastors, youth leaders, and church staff across upwards of 100 denominations, compiled from court research, court records, and news accounts. And it's a place where you can, like a registry directory thing, where people can see this information and kind of know of who they're dealing with in some cases and who not to deal with. Either way, it's a heartbreaking thing that there's that many people involved, but also that there's such a need for it. I understand it. It makes me sad, but yes. Sega is officially releasing an animated adaptation of their classic arcade game. Nick, you want information about the database? If you go to Relevant Magazine on Facebook, they've got the links for everything for it. But yeah, I'll try and grab you that link. But Sega is going to be doing a Golden Axe adaptation with an animated series starring Matthew Reese and Liam McIntyre. Also, it is going to be starring uh, Abed, the dude who played Abed in Community. It looks fun. It'll be on Paramount starting September 16th. Um, we are in the middle of a 3 day uh event in the UK that started yesterday and runs until Saturday. But the event is called Battle for Britain, and it's a gathering in Manchester, a 3 day gathering where they're calling for believers to pray, fast, and intercede for the nation. Organized by Prayer Storm and led by James and Rebecca Aldrin. Uh, yeah, it brings together Christians from the international prayer movement, sustained intercession for the soul of Britain. So the fact there's a movement seeking revival in England, that's a win all by itself. Um, Covered that. The Babylon Bee is suing New Mexico over a law requiring warning labels on AI satire. Yeah, let's see. Netflix is also going to be doing a documentary on Micah Miller, the uh, former pastor's wife who took her life just down the street from me at Lumber River State Park after being kind of abused and tormented by her former pastor husband for a while. Covered that. Let's see. Um, I think that's our news. Like I've gone through that twice just to double check. Couple other things just to let you know. Adam Driver, like Kylo Ren, has officially been cast in the X-Men world as Mr. Sinister. Um, and uh, Nikki from Obsession has been cast as Rogue. I'm not a fan of that notion, but I mean, I'm open to being surprised. But I don't love that notion out the gate. Um, Couple other newsy things. I do have my new potato stickers that did get done. Uh, the big potato, small potato, baby potatoes. I've got like a standard like I guess this one's Peter. I don't know. But there's a baby one. There's one in like a Miles outfit, the fries, and the baked potato one. Um, Yeah, but just if you've seen the new Spider-Man movie, you know there's a whole jokes and plot line about the potatoes. So I designed these. This is only my second sticker design on an iPad, um, or and only my fourth piece of digital art. So, but I had fun with those. Um, they're going to be good. Today I leave for Columbia, South Carolina to go do Soda City Comic Con in Columbia. Next week, I will be doing an author signing at Legal Grounds Coffee in Lumberton, North Carolina. That's those 2 weeks. I believe the following week, I don't have a con event, but I am DJing a wedding on the 5th of September. The week after that, I have the Brothers Boyd Comic Con. The week after that, I have Empire Comic Con in uh, near Savannah. And then for the last show, potentially for a while for me, will be uh, September 26th, whatever it is, in Boone, North Carolina. And then Rogue Comic Con is at the end of, or is in the middle of November. I had my surgery consult this week, and the surgery process doesn't look like it's going to change. And it looks like we should be good to go for moving forward. Um, the recovery looks rougher than I anticipated. Because the entire time I had been talking to my surgeon. He's like, "Yeah, you'll wear a collar for 2 weeks and then you'll be good to go and you'll go back to work and do all these things." Um, the short version is the wearing the collar for 2 weeks means that for 2 weeks straight, I can't take the hard neck brace off for 2 weeks. Then after 2 weeks, they'll check me. But even after that 2 weeks, I have to still wear the neck brace for 6 more weeks. They said I can take it off when I eat and when I shower and maybe when I sleep. But effectively, I'm going to have to wear this neck brace for 2 whole months. Um, which also means I won't be able to drive because I won't be able to turn my head. So I'm still in the processing of all of this. I'm still trying to like understand and choose how I reply and respond to all the circumstances and situations that go with it. Um, yeah, Nick, I'm having spinal surgery in my neck. I've got paralysis and numbness on two sides of two two varying portions of my body. And realistically, I got to see my MRI like a video of my MRI in stages, and genuinely speaking, I shouldn't be able to walk right now. I should not be mobile. Like I should be like according to paper, I should not be as functional as I am. And I'm gonna give that all to the grace of God. So I'm gonna try and stick with this and do all the things appropriately. Yeah, so I've got to update some life plans from October and November. Um, but we'll see how it goes. So that means I won't be driving. That means my kid will have to get her driver's license and shuttle me around for a while, though, so it'll be okay. And I had most of my events kind of blocked off. Um, you have your second interview at 2:45 today. Oh, I'll absolutely be praying. Um, so let's jump into it and do our roll for initiative Bible reading. We need a rock, paper, scissors, dice. By the way, sticker level Patreon supporters, I've got all your stuff enveloped and ready to go. Um, some of y'all changed support levels and I need to update what I was prepared for. Um, all right, so uh Rock is the Old Testament. Scissors is the New Testament. And then paper is the whole Bible. So let's read and see what we're reading, or roll and see what we're reading. All right, we got the whole Bible, which means 66 books, which means we need three D20s and a D10. So we got, you're a D10, right? I think so. Yeah. All right, we got a D10 and three D20s. All right, let's see what we're rolling and what we're reading. All right. We will roll these dice and subtract three, which allows us to have like the first book of the Bible or whatever. All right. We have 11. We have what are you? 10, another 11. So currently that is 32 plus 19, which is 53? No, 52. Add 32 plus 19. Yeah, it's 51. There we go. Minus 3. So 51 minus 3 is 48. So we're going to be in the 48th book of the Bible. Let's see what we're reading. That is New Testament. Let's move some stuff out of the way. All right, so 48th book of the Bible. So Malachi is 39, Matthew is 42, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. We are in Galatians. And Galatians has 6. So we're just gonna roll a D6. And D6. There we go. We're gonna roll a D6 and see which book in Galatians we're reading. Galatians 5. All right. Let's put this up. Boop. Lost my microphone for a second there. Should be good. Okay. All right. We are going to mark. Those are pretty, they're my favorite dice. They have like a whole stained glass vibe to them. Why I kind of went on my way to get those. All right, so we're gonna mark in this Clever Foxes journal what we're reading. Galatians 5. So we have done Galatians 1 and Galatians 5 now in here. And we're gonna use the uh Faith and Fandom devotional journal uh, for our outline for today, but I filled up the Bible study section of this one, so we're going to put the info in here. Um, so, all right, so the date is 8/21. The book is Galatians. Chapter is 5. All right, so let's see what we got, what we're working with. Christian liberty. Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty by which Christ has made us free, and do not be entangled again with a yoke of bondage. I, indeed, I, Paul, say to you, if you become circumcised, Christ will profit you nothing. And I testify again to every man who becomes circumcised that you are a debtor to keep the whole law. You have become estranged from Christ. You who attempt to be justified by the law, you will have fallen from grace. For through the Spirit we eagerly wait for the hope and the righteousness by faith. I like that. For through the Spirit we eagerly wait for the hope of righteousness by faith. It's good. I'm just going to post that one later. For in Christ Jesus, neither circumcision nor uncircumcision avails anything, but faith working through love. You ran well. Who hindered you from obeying the truth? This persuasion does not come from him who calls you. A little leaven um, leavens the whole lump. I have confidence in you, in the Lord, that you will have no other mind, but he who troubles you shall bear his judgment, whoever he is. And I, brethren, if I still preach circumcision, why do I suffer persecution? The offense of the cross has ceased. I could wish that those who trouble you would even cut themselves off. Um, he says, verse 12, uh, I wish that those who trouble you would even cut themselves off. Just on a side note, um, this is probably one of the more polite versions of this. If you check out Galatians 5:12, pretty much anywhere else, it basically says, I wish they would go ahead and castrate themselves or emasculate themselves. So, you know, Paul wasn't playing around. Um, verse 13 says, for you, brethren, have been called to liberty, only do not use liberty as an opportunity for the flesh, but through love serve one another. For all the laws fulfilled even in this, and all the laws fulfilled in one word, even in this. This one, this is hold up. This is New King James. My friend Paul Mignard ended up doing the sketchbook Bible, so I'm just working through this one right now. Um, says where's that? For all the law is fulfilled in one word, even in this, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. But if you bite and devour one another, beware lest you be consumed by one another. Um, Walking in the Spirit. I say then, walk in the Spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusts against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh, and these are contrary to one another. So you do not do the things that you wish. But if you are led by the Spirit, you are not under the law. Now the work of the flesh is evident, which are adultery, fornication, uncleanliness, lewdness, idolatry, sorcery, hatred, contentions, jealousies, outbursts of wrath, selfish ambitions, dissensions, heresies, envy, murders, drunkenness, revelries, and the like, of which I tell you beforehand, just as I also told you in the past, that those who practice such things will not inherit the kingdom of God. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, long suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self control. Against there is no law. Against such there is no law. And those who are in Christ have been crucified with the flesh and its passions and desires. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Let us not become conceited, provoking one another, envying, provoking one another, or envying one another. Or, um, I I personally like reading the NIV. Um, I like the NIV before 2011 when they changed it. Um, but NIV is still my current preference. I know that ESV and HCSB and several other translations are more technically accurate, but I do enjoy reading the NIV, just for the dialogue of it. Um, yeah, I do. That's just like I feel like it's just there was I learned. Hold on. I feel like I lost all my stuff on. Okay. I bounced around too hard and I think I lost some of my video and such for a second there. Um, that was just the one I grew up with. So if I'm going to read the NIV, I'd rather read NIV 84, but it is what it is. Um, so looking through this, Galatians 5 was our focal point. You guys are going to ask these questions. Main passage focus, I would say Christian liberty, the ineffectiveness of the law, and the fruits of flesh and spirit. Thank you, Amanda. Um, who wrote it? Paul wrote it. Who was it written to? The Galatian church. Why? Because they needed it. Because they needed it. When was it written? Galatians was written between AD 49 and AD 53. Then Galatia. All right. Symbolism presence. I feel like circumcision is big symbolism. It uses the running as symbolism. Then I think fruit is pretty symbolic through a good chunk of that there too. All right, verses that stood out for me. I think verse 5 is my favorite. The for though through the Spirit we eagerly wait for the hope of righteousness by faith. That one stood out. The verse 12 about go ahead and cut yourself off if you want to be so annoying. Um, verse 14, the law is fulfilled in loving your neighbor. And man, you can't, throw shade at the fruit of the spirit. So I'd mark that as well. What can I learn from this? Uh, I have freedom that needs to be used properly. I need to remember this is not my own efforts and to examine the fruit I bear. How can I apply this to my life? By living freely in Christ, humbling myself, and probably asking others the fruit that they see in me. Was anything hard to understand? Um, I would like this not necessarily hard to understand, but when Paul goes through his whole list of the flesh or the fruit of the flesh, I would like more of a breakdown on those things and why they're categorized the way that they are and that such. Um, Pop culture parallel that reflects this passage. Just because I've been uh watching it lately, My Adventures with Superman has been kind of a good one with this in terms of Bizarro in there and even Lex Luthor in some ways has been a solid example of a lot of these things. Um, Memeable verse from this passage. 100% the verse about if you're going to be annoying, go ahead and cut your stuff off. Verse 12. Definitely make a meme out of that. What would the best soundtrack be? Um, I want to say No Big Deal and Andy Mineo just put out a song about the fruit of the spirit. Um, and I feel like that would be it. Let me check that. I'm sure Tristan already knows what it is and can tell me without even looking, but No Big Deal and Andy. I know they just put out a song. It had a video game attached to it and everything too. Um, Rotation by No Big Deal and Andy Mineo. Um, would be probably the best soundtrack for this. Yeah, I think 100% that My Hero would fit, Nick. Rotation, Andy Mineo slash no big deal. All right, that is our news for the day. That is our scripture for the day. Um, I already told you all about cons and everything else. Um, so I just want to take a moment to thank our Patreon supporters, and then I'll read our goodbye verse. But just a moment to thank our Patreon supporters, Lance James, who's been doing some killer artwork lately, man. Like just flexing out there, dude. Um, Lance James, Zach T, Roshan John, Ryan Felton, Jessica Luttrell, your cosplay's been killing it lately. Jackie Crafts, um, Kelly Townsend, Fab Quack, Rivka and Tristan Birch, Dot Winston, Michelle Stewart, Lynn Turner, um, David Brooks, Jeff Weimer, Jamie Montgomery, the Coleman family. Um, Coleman family, I was about to mail y'all stickers and I just saw that you switched over to books. So I got to switch over to books for you. Jonathan Herman, Ron Petite, Gear Saber Cosplay, How's the Baby? Um, Scott Ward, Alicia Glenn, which by the way, Scott Ward just put out a uh, Dungeon Crawler Carl devotional on our website and stuff if y'all should want to check that out. It's really good. Alicia Glenn, Jason Crutchfield, Mike Perna, Zach Harris, Caleb Grimm, Jeanette Skaggs, uh, Sarah Lewis, Patrick Gale, Rebecca Godlove, and Adam Davis. Thank you all for taking time to listen, to encourage, for being all the encouragement you are. And I'm going to share our peace out verse, 3 John verse 2 says this. Beloved, I pray that you may prosper in all things and be in health, just as your soul prospers. I'm gonna hop off Facebook as we end the live, but I'll be hanging out on TikTok just for a minute while I get all the editing and stuff processed. But thank y'all for taking time to listen, for encouraging, and I hope to see you all at a con real soon. Bye, y'all.